Perfect timing there, Melissa. Thank you again. Good afternoon. Welcome to the November, and that seems so crazy to say November already. Housing navigation meeting for the Georgia 505 Continuum of Care. All of that to be said, it's where all of us come together that serve the population that's experiencing homelessness or risk of homelessness, and come together. Either we're providing direct housing services and or ancillary services, supportive services, mainstream services. Some of us may be actually providing the actual physical buildings and everything in between, whether it's access services, mainstream wraparound services, or aftercare. Welcome. And again, we have lots and lots of new faces and or names here, and some guests. So we're going to quickly go through and just give some introductions, and then we'll get into what's going to be pretty much a jam-packed program with lots of information from folks who want to be able to offer assistance and services to those in our community most in need. So my name is Pat. I'm with United Way of the Chattahoochee Valley. I'm Vice President of Home for Good, which is the Continuum of Care lead and responsible for coordinating services and programs in our region, which includes Muskogee County in Georgia and Russell County in Alabama. And though I'm just going to go on my screen, the screen name says D. Vane. So you're on. That would be you. I saw you smile. So yes, ma'am, that's you.
Well, actually, my name is Denise Vanessa,
Okay.
and Denise Vanessa Ellis. And I just want to say hello, everyone. I am really thankful to be here with you today. And on this call as a board member of the Melanated Pearl organization. And I'm a seasoned advocate for the unhoused population. And being here on this call is just, it brings back all the memories of the Minnesota call, because that's where I'm from, at the start of the winter when it's all hands on deck to save these folks that are exposed to the elements. So I look forward to meeting all of you in this journey, and we're all in this together. And so I've shared the website for Melanated Pearl in the chat. And our CEO, Crystal Perry, is here. And as a backup to if there's any questions that you might have about this, but for the past 5 years, she has served Atlanta in Clayton County. And
Denise, let's go into more detail in just a little bit. Let's just do an introduction and a hello, and because we got a spot for you on the agenda.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm Denise Vanessa Ellis.
Yeah. All right, Samantha, you're next, please.
All right. Well, hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Like she said, my name is Samantha White, and I am the executive director for the Columbus Women's Home. We are a teen challenge facility here in Columbus, Georgia, and we house women who are over the ages of 18. Don't let the name deceive you. We are a women's home. And so for adult women who are struggling with drug and alcohol addiction. So looking forward to sharing more later.
Thank you. Jennifer Rogers.
Hi, yes, my name is Jen Rogers. I am the Housing Support Program Director for the Georgia Housing Voucher Program here in Region 6. We just got the contract here in March, so I'm definitely a new face. And it's good to see some familiar faces here too. So, yeah.
Well, Jennifer, we were talking about you, but not knowing we were talking about you earlier. So we're going to be interested to ask you some questions later about doing referrals to the Georgia Housing Voucher Program.
Sounds perfect. I love it.
Great, thanks. Okay, Miss Catherine Andrews.
Yes, hello, I'm Catherine Andrews. I'm with Briggs and Associates Support Employment, and that is what we do. We provide job coaching services for persons with intellectual disabilities and mental health diagnoses.
Thank you, Catherine. Crystal Perry.
Hello, everyone. Crystal Perry. I'm the founder and CEO of Melanated Pearl based in Atlanta, but I was born and raised in Columbus and look forward to meeting everyone.
Great. Thank you. Welcome. Jamie Lee.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Jamie Lee Pierce from Chattahoochee Valley Jail Ministries or Safe House Ministries.
Thank you. Miss Melissa, our new path person.
Hello, my name is Melissa Harris. I am a newbie here as well. I am working with United Way. I am the lead outreach specialist for our new team. We physically go out into the community to provide services for our homeless in the community with resources and who suffer from mental illness and addiction.
Thank you. Welcome, Melissa. C Hall.
Hello, everyone. I am Christine Hall. I am the Housing Choice Voucher Programs Operation Manager for the Columbus Housing Authority. I'm
Thank
glad
you,
to be
Christine.
here.
Hey.
Hey.
Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank
Josh, you
you.
popped up on my screen. So Josh Norris and then Jennifer Lohman, you're next.
I'm Joshua Norris, and I am part of the outreach team with Melissa for United Way and Home for Good.
Welcome. And Miss Lohman. Hey, you're muted, Jennifer. We can see you, but we can't hear you.
Okay. I'm Jennifer Lohman with the City of Phoenix City Economic Development, and I also serve with Homes for Good and Continuum of Care.
Welcome, Jennifer. Thanks for being here. Kiyanda.
Hey, good evening. My name is Kiyanda. I'm the nurse manager over the care coordinators here at Willowbrook at Tanner.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Charles.
My name is Charles Jeffries. I'm the community data manager for our COC. I work for United Way Home for Good.
Renee. Renee J. You're muted if you're trying to speak. Okay, we'll move on. Danielle, welcome. Danielle Jordan. You're muted as well. Camille?
Hello, everybody. My name is Camille Solberg. I am the Public Policy Manager for the Georgia Public Policy Foundation. We are a think tank based out of Atlanta, Georgia. It's an honor to be here, and thank you, Pat, for inviting me.
Welcome, Camille. We'll get you a chance to talk to a little bit too. Miss Barnes.
Hello, my name is Tarika Barnes, and I am the Director of Communications Management with Home for Good. I oversee the new PATH team that we have just brought on, and also I assist with overseeing the agencies within the community that we do partner with.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Miss Tarika. Miss Tiffany Cole.
Hey y'all, Tiffany Cole with the House of Time. I'm the program financial manager. We serve homeless women and children, transitional housing, permanent supportive housing, and rapid rehousing.
Right. Denise's Otter something? Otter Pilot?
I think that's an AI device, Pat. It takes notes. Yep.
Cool. Great. Thanks. Obviously, I'm a little behind. Chloe.
Good afternoon. I'm Chloe Landreth. I do marketing and outreach for New Horizons Behavioral Health.
Welcome. Whoever's here from Pastoral Institute.
Hey, this is Mary Johnson. I'm the Director of Advancement. My basic responsibility in plugging into these meetings, we have received some funding from a donor to vet and try new partnerships to get mental health into some of our nonprofits. And so I'm listening in to see if there are any opportunities for us to provide services through our expanding resident training program.
Yes, that's your answer. Yes. We'll figure out how to do it. Yes, absolutely. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Natalie Prater.
Good evening. I'm Natalie Prater. I'm the Aging and Disability Resource Connection Specialist for Region 6 DBHDD.
Welcome, Natalie.
Thank you.
Mr. Rob Scott. You're muted, Rob. All right, we'll move on to Mr. Harry Tatum.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Harry Tatum. I'm the program director for Journey to Recovery, but specifically with the also the crisis respite apartments that we have here with New Horizons.
Great, thank you, Harry. I'm trying to see who I have. Miss Lydia Jackson. You're muted, Lydia.
Sorry.
There you go.
Hello,
Hey.
everyone. How are you all doing today?
Good.
Lydia Jackson, Southwest Georgia Housing Opportunities. Hey, Pat.
Hey, Miss Lydia. Welcome, Brian Connor.
Hello, I'm Brian Connor. I'm the Director of Clinical Services with Willowbrook at Tanner.
Welcome, Brian. Kristen Barker.
Hey, Pat, I apologize. I can't be on screen. I am actually driving away from a meeting that I just got done with. But I am Kristen Barker. I'm the director of Better Work Columbus, helping people find better work opportunities. And I also serve on the board of Home for Good.
Thank you. And Susan Gallagher.
Am I muted?
You are not. We can hear you loud and clear.
Hi, Susan Gallagher with New Horizons. I was able to get on the meeting today, and I always like to hear what's going on in the continuum of care because housing people, especially people that have a mental illness or substance use disorder, are near and dear to my heart. And I'm glad to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you. And it looks like the last one is a number. I have a 392-3027.
That's me, Pat, Keisha Cawthorn, Department
Hey,
of
Miss
Behavioral Health
Keisha.
Development.
Welcome.
I know I feel like, so I'm driving too, and so I was hoping my number would show up or something, but I work for the Department of Behavioral Health, and there's 6 of us in the regional field office, and my role touches lots of different areas. I'm always in the community trying to connect our most in need with resources, access to care, timely care, appropriate care, you name it. And I'm glad to be here.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being here, Keisha. And I went ahead and put you in the chat box as attending. Again, if you have not, please put your name and organization in the chat box so we can have a record of your attendance here. I said we have a jam-packed jam-packed agenda, I should say, today. I'm going to run through our referral numbers very quickly because we want to get a chance to talk with Samantha from Teen Challenge, Denise from Melanated Pearl, and Camille from Georgia Housing Project. So we want to, and I know I just butchered that. I apologize, Camille. So that we can hear what's going on and how we can contribute and how we can help develop processes and procedures and strategies to make sure that homelessness is brief, one time, and non-brief, one time, and intermittent. So we don't regularly have people returning to homelessness. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So, and if anytime you cannot, hey, Miss Devlon, I see you've joined us. Christina, I see you as well. So we've got folks still joining. There's Dr. Asante Hiltz. So let me just share my screen. If it will let me here. For some reason, we got all kinds of stuff. It's not. Okay. Here we go. There. Please tell me if you can see the PowerPoint.
We can.
Anyway, Yep, cool. All right.
Yes.
Again, we're going to go over the October referral reports very quickly. because we want to get into the presentation that we have from Sam from Teen Challenge. Melanated Pearl will go on. After that, then we'll talk about point in time count. And then we'll have Camille talk to us about some things in policy and in some things we can do legislatively statewide to make sure that we meet the needs of those who are most vulnerable in our communities. So last month was a pretty typical month when it comes to referrals or calls into our 211 Access Center, Community Resource Center for access to coordinated entry. Excuse me. And I apologize, I'm battling with some sinuses here. And about 35% almost of the calls were for prevention. And about 58% or 57.44 were for rapid rehousing resources. We're seeing the numbers for prevention to go up, partly due to the raises of the increased in rental, and also because of inflation and in all of the other costs of living. So, and breaking it down into the types, you saw the numbers here: 112 for rapid rehousing, 67 for prevention. That prevention, I remember when we started tracking it, was in a single digits. So much more. But on the other hand, the fact that we have funds for prevention is leaps and bounds from where we were in years past. We had 13 referrals for emergency shelter at the Salvation Army's Family Shelter. Prevention has a wait list right now, which is a little scary, but because it takes so much time and we have so many documents that have to be done in order for folks to be able to receive prevention that is more than just one check for 1 month, but for being able to pay up to 6 months in arrears and 2 months ahead, there is a lot of documentation. So the process takes a while. So there is a wait list. Last month we had 67. 5 of those were successfully moved through, and there's 62 at the time we did this at the end of the month, but the wait list is down probably less than 20 now. And those numbers, that wait list will the referrals will start opening up again next week. So looking at rapid rehousing, it too has a wait list because, if all of you may be aware, October 1st was the beginning of the new fiscal year. And of course, as is usually the case, no one had contracts for our funds that we were granted in this past funding cycle. So delays in being able to implement those programs. You can't spend money if you don't know that you have it. At least that's what our finance department tells us. So there's been delays in getting that out, but those contracts have now been received. And so those wait lists too will be starting to, we will start using, opening up the process again on next week. So 112 came in, 86 were waitlisted, and 21 went to welcome home. And as you can see, 5 went to move into work. Permanent supportive housing, I think there were 2. Yeah. And that, of course, is with Safe House Ministries with their Shelter Plus Care. So that being said, I'm going to stop sharing this one, and I'm going to move over, Samantha, to yours. Can everyone see the Teen Challenge spread PowerPoint?
Yes, I can see it.
Great, thank you. All right, Samantha, it's yours. I will advance your screens when you're ready.
All right. So you're going to switch it to my screen?
Do you not see the Teen Challenge?
It's just it says Teen Challenge in the upper left-hand corner. Is that what you're referring to?
All we see is your slide, Pat. We're not seeing Samantha's PowerPoint.
Okay. All right. Let me see 1 second. Let me share it again and see if that happens.
Yep. There you go.
All right, cool. There we go.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Pat. I appreciate the opportunity to share about what we do at Teen Challenge. And many of you guys might be familiar with Teen Challenge. Our regional office is right there which I would call downtown. I'm newer to Columbus, so I'm still learning the midtown, uptown, downtown, where all that is. Been here since January, but I've been with Teen Challenge for over 10 years, came up from Florida. But anyways, so our regional office is there right across the street from United Way. And you can go to that next slide there, Pat. You'll see a little bit more about who we serve.
I'm getting there.
All right.
There we go.
Yeah. So Teen Challenge serves men, women, and teenagers who are struggling with life controlling issues. And so for us, we have different locations that help men separate from women, women separate from men, and then also helping teenagers as well. So we have over 200 locations around the United States. We're actually all over the world as well. And so we do serve over 135 countries around the world. So that our reach is global. But here within our region, we have those, those different locations, like you see the little dots there on that slide. And so that's our reach. Here in Georgia, we have 2 locations. We have a men's program in Dublin, and then right here in Columbus, we work with the adult women. And so we're right off River Road, really right behind Cascade Hills Church. A lot of people I've come to find out since I've been here aren't necessarily familiar with the women's program, but we do help adult women 18 and up, and we work with women up into their 60s. We have a woman in our program right now who is in her 60s, as long as they're ready for the help that Teen Challenge has to offer, and they're struggling with substance abuse, other life controlling issues, whether that's alcoholism or, there's a variety of things that people come into the program for, but we are a 1-year residential program. And so one amazing thing about our impact is that we see with our 1-year program and what we do, just really great numbers. And so we have that slide there for you. 86% after 1 year report to still be sober 1 year after completing the program. And that's just such a great number. We're so proud of that and just the impact that we have on individual lives. 75% 1 year after completing the program, they're employed. 92% report to be in excellent health 1 year after completing the program. And so we're, again, just so proud of those numbers and the impact that we're making in individual lives. And so, like I shared earlier, I'm the executive director of the Columbus Women's Home. Just love the impact that we're making in women's lives. Those are real pictures of some of our students that we've had the pleasure to impact lives and really touch them and know that it's about more than just them. And so you can go to that next slide there. So our program is 1 year in length, and they do live with us on campus. We can house up to 28 women in our facility right now. We have about 20, and so we do have beds available for women, who are interested in our service. We are a Christian program, and so they would have to be willing to participate in our Christian program in order to come in. It's not a requirement to be a Christian, but to know that we are a Christian program is something that, is important for them to know coming in. But we do offer peer-to-peer counseling, group counseling, individual counseling. They walk through a parenting class we have right from the start that's coming on campus once a week. Right now, Debbie is coming out and teaching our ladies, walking them through a parenting class. Very grateful for her in doing that. There's spiritual inspiration, relapse prevention, anger management, the drug and alcohol education, recreational opportunities, and then also vocational. We have a work portion of the program where they go out in the community and they participate in different work experience things. And we believe that it's important for them to develop skills that will help them to be successful after they complete the program. And so they're working on individually on, what brought them to us, but we want to set them up for success when they leave. And so, coming on here today and sharing with y'all about us us and that we're here and that we want to put hope within reach of women who are struggling with drug and alcohol addiction. Their lives are just headed to death ultimately if they continue on this path, dealing with homelessness, in and out of jail, in and out of prison, lost their children, about to lose their children, have seen so many friends and family die of overdose and just different things like that. We want to offer them hope. And it's beautiful to be able to witness a woman walk in who, was void of that. And then to see the smiles on faces like are in these pictures is beautiful. And so, me coming on here today, I want to make sure you guys know that we're here. The Women's Center is here. I would love to give you a tour of our facilities, to have you come out and see us, to know that, if you have someone to refer to us, we're here, we have beds available, but also for us to work with you when they come to the tail end of their program and need to transition to somewhere safe. We want to set them up, like I said, for success when they complete the program as well. And so having referral partners like y'all is important in what we do to really to set people up well. So that's a little bit about us.
Right. And thank you so much, Samantha. So I think we can go ahead and let's open it up here to questions. If anyone has questions, concerns, I know the first thing I would want to ask is, how do we make a referral? If we had a lady that we thought might be interested, do we have her call? What is the process for making a referral?
Yeah. So we have an admissions line, and I can put that into the comments or the chat here to share with you guys. It's 855-934-4673. And I'll put that into the chat for you guys. That's the best way. You can call on behalf of someone, but ultimately our admissions department is going to want to talk to that individual. And things can move pretty quickly. There's some blood work that's required for someone to have, but if they come in with $45, we can get that worked out through Mercy Med. We're very grateful for their partnership. And so, yeah.
Great. Thank you. And yes, Mercy Med, I think, is a great partner for most all of us on here. There's also a question in the chat here. How can someone schedule a tour and what is the cost?
Yeah. Well, best way to schedule a tour is to connect with me. So you're talking to the right person. I will leave my email address and in the chat as well, and we can connect, schedule that tour, get you out here to see what we're doing. It's beautiful. We have a beautiful campus. Pat, you need to come out too. We need to have you out here. And so, come out and see it. There's staff here throughout the week, so we'd love to have you come out and get a tour. So.
Right.
Yeah.
If you'll put your contact information in the chat box, we'll make sure we sit down. Kristen, I see you with your hand up. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you may already be planning to do this, but since I'm driving, I can't get to the chat, and I would be very interested in a tour. Maybe we could even do a group tour or something together. But yes, and I would be also interested in talking about that referral process maybe a little bit more. So I will leave that on the table. And Pat, if you can share it so I can get to it in my email, I would appreciate it.
Got it. And I put you in the chat as attending. Perfect.
Pat, this is Keisha. Well, I'm dittoing everything Kristen just said.
Great.
I'd
Group
like a
tour.
and
I think the group tour route is what everybody wants to do. So we're all coming out and invading your place there.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I see. Again, there's a question about a cost. I see you, Catherine. Is there a cost for your program?
So the cost of our program, the cost is a little over $3,000 a month. However, we don't turn anyone away due to finances. And so we work with people. We have many students in our program that aren't paying anything. We don't want to turn anyone away. And so, that causes us to be relying a lot on community support in what we do. And so, we work with individuals. We know that they've burned many bridges. So.
Thank you. Thank you. Catherine?
So from a support employment point of view, when you talked about the vocational piece, I was wondering just to know more in general about that, and at what point in the person's recovery do you feel that they are, for lack of a better word, allowed to begin that process in order for it to not be so early that it interrupts their recovery?
Sure.
And do you have sort of like a support employment, or is it just sort of the practicing different types of jobs, and then they'll find a job on their own once they leave the program?
Right. Yeah. So what we do, we have different opportunities where it's in a controlled environment. So we're not sending them out into the workforce. It's all within the bounds of Teen Challenge. And so we have an event center out in Seal, Alabama, on a piece of property out there. And so our ladies, they do some cleaning services out there. So they're coming alongside learning skills, learning how to work as a team, how to work with integrity, all of those things. And so we do things like that. We have a cleaning contract with a local church. You know, we have ladies make product here on campus, like honey. They'll pour honey and make jewelry and stuff like that. So they're learning different skills. They're working in our kitchen on campus, but they don't actually they're not employed. And so it's still within the bounds of Teen Challenge. So learning skills, but not necessarily holding down a job per se.
Okay, other questions? Okay, it looks like the consensus is that everybody wants to do a group tour. So we'll see if we can get some dates and times set up. Knowing that, you know, we got 2 weeks, we've got Thanksgiving, and then 3 or 4 weeks later we're Christmas. So we're gonna have to pack it in very quickly, but we'll thank you, Samantha. Anything else you wanted to add before I quickly talk about point in time count and how we sign up for that, explain that, and then we go over to Denise and Camille. Anything else?
That's all for me. Appreciate the time.
Thank you. Thank you. Again, put your contact and the referral information in the chat box. All right, let me go back to my screen really quickly, please. I'm going to share just a few things here. All right. Okay. Everybody can see the slide that says point in time count, I hope.
Yep.
Great. All right. Point in time count, for those of you who have not heard of that or not done that, it is the one time of the year that we go and we interview, assess, survey, whatever word you want to use, everyone in the community, Jimmy, who is experiencing homelessness, whether that person or household is sheltered or unsheltered. It's a requirement to meet some guidelines from Department of Housing and Urban Development. But in our community, we have successfully done a full count, which means sheltered and unsheltered, since the counts began. We're only required to do a full count every other year, but we do one every year. We're required to do it in the last 10 days of January. And those days are picked specifically because traditionally across the country, those are the coldest days of the year. Thus, more people are congregated in close-knit areas and or shelter, which you're more likely to get an accurate count. Again, nothing can be 100%, and it's more of a taking of the temperature. It's more of seeing where the trends are. Are we going up or down? Are we seeing different demographics of the population go up or down? So I said all that to say the shelter count this year is January the 29th, which is a Monday night. Unsheltered count is January the 30th. And when I say unsheltered, yes, we are out beating the streets, under the bridges, on the river walk, in the woods, and everything else with law enforcement escorts for those unsheltered counts. Breakfast at 5:30 that morning, and we will hit the streets at 6 o'clock. All participants must attend training to go over how to do the surveys, what to expect, and everything in between. Meet with team leads, meet with people who have done the counts in the past. I have on the slide here that I'll be sending out, and we will include in our newsletter next Friday, but we will also send it out to all of those who were invited to attend today. The link to sign up for training. All right. Just to show, yes, the link works. Yay. And the trainings are on January 9th and 10th. We have 2 trainings for for those wanting to participate in the point in time count. You must be 18 or older because of liability issues. So the links are there. We need probably a minimum of 50 volunteers, not employees, 50 volunteers, just for us to be able to do the count the way we need to be able to do it. So I'm going to go back here. Other than that, now I'm going to turn it over to my friend, Miss Denise Ellis from Melanated Pearl. And then once you are done, then Camille, it is going to be your time to shine. So take it away.
All right, thank you, Pat. And once again, I'd like to thank you so much for inviting me to this meeting today. As I mentioned before, my name is Denise Ellis, and I am a board member with Melanated Pearl. And I'm really excited as a transplant to Columbus as well. I've been here 2 years, and I'm still trying to figure out uptown and downtown. But as I was mentioning before, the Melanated Pearl mission is to empower, uplift, and educate. And there's so much more to it. And I don't want to take up the whole meeting. So I have the website in the chat, and you can take a look at it at your leisure. But my mission in sharing this information with you is to ignite a fire. To plant a seed, and most of all, to initiate the replication of the Melanated Pearl programs and services that are currently operating in Atlanta, in Clayton County, and we want to bring them to Columbus. Our target population is African American single female head of household and their children, and we have so many here in Columbus that are unhoused, especially veterans. And there are many facets of the Melanated Pearl program, including supportive housing programs that are needed here in Columbus to be explored further down the road. But right now, to begin with, we would like to bring our mobile shower unit to Columbus. The unit, along with a well-planned event, Empower Showers, involves hygiene kits that include feminine products, deodorant, shampoo, soap, lotion, etc., to be provided to the guests. Donations for hygiene kits need a secure place to be received, managed, and stored prior to the event. Each event requires a location with access to water, and yes, the water is heated for the shower, of which 15 minutes of time is allotted for each guest. Now, I know all of you understand the significance of a shower when people have been unhoused for a long period of time, and it's a matter of dignity. As I mentioned, Crystal Perry is on the call here today, and she is from Columbus. And once you see the website, you will know her level of credibility. And for any questions, logistics, costs, agreements, partnerships, donations, Crystal will be accessible, as well as will I as a board member. My contact information is in the chat. And for right now, the seed is planted. All of you who would like to help us grow this seed and love for humanity and dignity, please let me know. I wanted to keep it brief today, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. And we'd like to make Columbus the next success story for Melanated Pearl. Thank you all.
Crystal,
I can't hear you.
Yeah. Thank you, Denise. Crystal, did you want to say something briefly before we went ahead and took questions?
Sure. I like to say, hey, world, it's your girl, Melanated Pearl, bringing that black light to things that aren't quite right. As Denise said, my name is Crystal Perry. I actually, believe it or not, went to St. Elmo, telling my age, connected to the Lake Bottom, if you've ever gone to that park. Richardson, and then Columbus High School before I moved to Atlanta area. And we have been in business for 5 years serving a vulnerable community, most recently in Clayton County through federal funds. Last winter, we placed over 150 families who were experiencing homelessness, and we've served over 250 people who are living in encampments through our showers over the winter months. So again, as a person who has family still there. We are just looking for partnerships, and thank you so much for just inviting Ms. Denise, who lives there, to the platform in any way that we can come and support your work. We're willing to do so.
Thank you. Thank you, Crystal. Any questions, comments for Crystal and or Denise? Ladies, gentlemen? I'm looking for hands up here. All right, let me make sure we have all of your information in the chat box. Okay. All right. Yep. All the information is in the chat box there. All right. Miss Camille. I met Camille in Atlanta. I went to a conference. Oh gosh, what's been probably a month or so ago, talking about public policy. And I think we met because I commented she had on some really cool shoes. And then we got to talking about public policy and realized we had lots of things in common. So Camille, if you want to talk about the organization and some of the things that you guys are concerned about coming up to the new legislative year that's just around the corner, and how we can all partner, and maybe just throw in there a little bit about how we talked about having some town hall meetings outside of Atlanta to get insight on what's going on in communities that don't live in the metro area. So take it away.
Well, thank you so much, Pat. So some of the issues that we're very concerned about are healthcare, educational opportunities, and affordable housing / homelessness. So those are topics that I am fiercely trying to look for information at a grassroots level. This is why I'm in this conversation, because really you are the ones out there understanding and digging and going to the people that need it the most. So the whole goal of in my role with Georgia Public Policy is to find this information so that we can have better understanding of the situations in Georgia, of these situations, and thus write papers that are, that have accurate information. And with that, we take that information to the governor or to the state legislature or the Senate. We do have a lot of open doors at the Capitol. So for me, my goal is to be extremely well educated in these issues. And my focus is minority communities. I've worked in the federal government, state government for many, many years, U.S. Senate. So, I dealt with a lot of, obviously, state and a lot of federal issues, but being at the grassroots level is the best thing that we could do to bring changes to our local communities. So thank you for allowing me to be here. And I look forward to partnering and learning more about what you do and how we can bring your voices to these elected officials.
Okay. Did you put your contact information, Camille, in the chat box?
I'm going to do that.
Please do. Please do.
Sure.
Because I know that there are some folks on here that specialize in healthcare. There's, of course, lots and lots of housing people here. Most of us, I would think, would consider ourselves grassroots kind of folks. So any questions, comments for Camille while we still have her here?
Pat, this is Keisha. I'm definitely going to follow up with her. So I'm grateful that you're putting her information in the chat.
Thank you.
And that was Keisha Cawthorn with Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities.
Fantastic.
Great. All right. Any other questions before we move on? I'm going to open it up now to any announcements, anything anybody has going on, any upcoming events, any different hours because of the holidays, or anything in between that they need to share.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, sorry, Jamie Lee from Safe House Ministries. Just to let y'all know, we have new hours of operations at the Day Center on Hamilton Road. Instead of closing at 2 p.m., we are closing at 1 p.m.
And you open up at what time, Jamie Lee? Just
We
so
open from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Okay.
7 days, 365.
Thank you.
This is Susan at New Horizons Behavioral Health. We are doing a training tomorrow, mental health first aid for veterans. We partnered with UGA and a program that they're doing where they're bringing in veterans with lived experience to conduct the training. If you're interested, www.nhbh.org. It's a free training. We're providing breakfast and lunch. Oh, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to go up. So there we go.
Okay, great. Yes, so if you come into contact with veterans, if you have family members, this is for anybody. You don't need to be a licensed mental health professional to do the mental health first aid. Mental health first aid helps you identify mental illnesses, and there'll also be a connection with resources. And if any of the individuals that you come into contact with need additional mental health services, maybe they have an opioid use disorder or something that is beyond the scope of your agency, New Horizons is here. We serve people regardless of their ability to pay and meet them where they are. So if there's people that are in your services that maybe what they're going through is a little bit more than y'all can handle, reach out to us and we're here for you. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Susan. Yes, that was on the flyer, and I will send out to everyone who was on the invite list and make sure that everyone gets it. And Georgia Housing Voucher Program, and I have forgotten your name already, but I said you, Jennifer Rogers. There you are. Hey.
Hey, Pat.
Okay, so if you can explain, and you don't need to rush because we still are ahead of time, but what the Georgia Housing Voucher Program is.
Yes.
And then how can someone refer, or if you want to put contact information or whatever.
Yeah, so I'm going to drop my information into the chat again with my contact info. So what the Georgia Housing Voucher Program is basically, it's oftentimes confused with Section 8 with HUD, and that is not what we are. We are through the state, but it is a very similar program in that we offer either a rental subsidy or cover 100% of the rent for individuals that are diagnosed with a severe and persistent mental illness and are struggling with homelessness. Now, they could also meet some other criteria, which would be like exiting a state hospital or exiting jail or prison or a residential program, just depends. But really, it's an awesome program because we can help with almost $12,000 upfront assistance when an individual is moving into a new home. And that covers security deposit, first month's rent, housing and furniture. It can even include clothes. And it really is life-changing for a lot of the people that we serve. Now, in terms of the referral process, we do rely on our referrals being done by the community service boards in Region 6. So if you have someone that you think might be a good fit for that, or for our program, you would want to get them connected with American Work or New Horizons, or even like Pathways, McIntosh Trail, Middle Flint. Those are the community service boards that we work with. And then they will get them enrolled into and also do the need for supported housing survey, get all the documentation that the state requires in order for them to just determine if they're going to be eligible for the program or not. And then once that happens, which as long as everybody's on top of it and individuals are putting forth the information, providers are putting forth the information, it can be a 10-day turnaround from, first survey to referral. And then one of our case managers goes out and just really works hard to get the individual housed, but also looks at providing them with transitional housing. Because usually I think our average right now is about 60 days to get some from referral to assigned lease. And that's pretty impressive with the population that we work with. We got a lot of barriers like evictions, in and out of jail, felony charges. So we're really hoping to keep that number down as much as possible, but we're new. So like I said, I came on in March as the program director, so we're really in our infancy here and just excited to network and get to know more people and hopefully keep those referrals coming because it's getting cold outside.
Amen. Absolutely. And we have your contact information. I see it there. Great. So questions for Jennifer. That is very exciting. So for the synopsis, I have a client I talked to our friends over at America Works or New Horizons and say, hey, listen, got this person. Can I do a warm handoff to you, or can we hold hands to see if this person qualifies for the Georgia Housing Voucher Program?
Yeah, pretty much that simple. And then if anybody has any questions also, because there are opportunities to become a referral source on your own. So if you have some questions about that, of how to do the need for supportive housing survey, I can send one of my staff out to train staff on how to do that and give the supporting documents. Really what we need is clinical staff to be able to have that diagnosis of severe and persistent mental illness, and then we can get it done. So yeah.
Perfect. Great. That's very exciting. Questions for Jennifer?
This is Keisha, but I'll go in line. I can't see whose hand is up.
No, go ahead, Keisha.
Okay. Well, Jen and I work together all the time, but she just had me thinking, and so I'm just going to say this out loud. If Mercy Med, the Valley, any of these want to become partners, a team challenge for referrals, then they need to pursue that through you. Should be their point of contact? I mean, it doesn't have to be a DBHCD contracted partner then.
That's correct, Keisha. Yeah. So, and that's exactly what I was thinking as Samantha was talking is, you've got that residential piece. And then if someone was wanting to find more permanent housing, then that's really where we could come into play to help. So be part of that continuum of care and that discharge planning to be able to support individuals that are moving out of residential or just don't have a place to call home right now.
Interesting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Keisha. Yes.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I know Mary Johnson, if she's still on the line, what we're desperate to do is spread the network and get it off of just, contracted partners with the state and use nonprofits and other people to share in this. And so anything we can do to be more visionary is really appreciated. That's it.
Yeah,
thanks.
Thank you, Keisha. This is Mary Johnson. And just adding to what Keisha said, one of the things that we were trying to do, our ability to train residents to get them from their master's to their licensure relies on us having enough placements to put them to get the various experiences that they need. And that would be under supervision with our licensed clinicians, all our LPCs, LMFWs, and LCSWs. So please, I will put my email in the chat. If you know that you are interested in possibly serving as a placement for us to develop groups and or individual therapy to serve your needs, please reach out.
Thank you. We appreciate that. And then I saw some questions in the chat. This is not a new program. It kind of was birthed from the Olmstead settlement. And when an individual was leaving a state hospital, wanted to leave a state hospital, but they didn't feel like there was a place really for them to go in the community. So the Georgia Housing Voucher Program kind of was birthed out of that as like a step down service. So it's been around for a while, but it is new to Region 6. It was, in terms of what did it look like before Volunteers of America came, it was the community service boards that were kind of holding the Georgia Housing Voucher Program. So it was a lot smaller, but now that we are our own entity coming in and being able to grow and take on new referrals, we're amping up. We're getting a lot bigger. So, and it's exciting. It's really cool to see. We started out with 2 people in March, and now we have a staff. We have 10 case managers. So we're just growing and growing and growing.
So from a housing perspective, I'm just gonna jump on the fact, hey, they have case managers, guys. Let's spread this out. Let's, because that's one of the things that, I mean, we have housing and so many times like, oh, we can get people to housing, but it's the case management piece that's missing.
Yep, 100%.
So-
And I do want to be clear because one of the key things too is that we're focusing on housing goals, but a lot of that is just encouraging re-engagement into the community resources like the community service boards. But we are going into the home. So we know, John Doe is spreading peanut butter on the walls or right. I mean, we know what's going on in the home and we can communicate that to the ACT case manager or the ICM case manager or whoever we need to get them in touch with in order to make sure that they're not decompensating.
Wonderful, wonderful. So again, another hand we can hold as we wrap these services around folks. Denise, I see your hand up and I'm trying to monitor here too. Yeah, Mary Johnson, thank you for putting your information. Denise, go ahead.
Well, I just want to thank everybody for doing this kind of work. And I want to say that it's something that can be very draining on all of us. The type of situations that you see in dealing with the unhoused population, and it drove me to laughter yoga. And so I just want you all to know that in the times when the crises are the heaviest, that you still need to laugh. And it's very important to bring people together who are in this kind of situation to laugh together. And I've been teaching it for 11 years, and this kind of work requires laughter. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions for Jennifer? And for those of you who are interested in mental health first aid, I went ahead and put the link in the chat box. It looks very small, but it actually works. I checked it out. So you can sign up for that ASAP.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Susan. Any other comments, concerns for anything, any upcoming? Dr. Sante Hiltz, good to see you back. Congratulations on that new baby boy. Anything else before we actually get out of here? 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Hey, Dr. Hiltz.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
Just an FYI, and this is a plug simply for volunteers for Feeding the Valley. Each year, Feeding the Valley puts on the Big Gobble, where over 2,000 from scratch Thanksgiving meals are prepared and then delivered to homes on Thanksgiving. The cooking has already started. Obviously can't cook 2,000 meals in one day and get it all delivered. So the turkey baking and those kinds of things have already started, and the cornbread for the dressing and all that, and it's being frozen. And then then the week of, we will stand there and make sure everything is hot and fresh and ready to go out. So if anyone is interested in volunteering, if you go to Feeding the Valley, Columbus, Georgia, there are opportunities to volunteer. There are morning shifts and afternoon shifts. Any day of the week, except for Friday. Friday is only morning shift only. So I just want to put that plug out there. Still need volunteers. Anything else before we go? Nice crowd. Thank you to all for joining us. We met some new friends here. Hopefully our new friends will come back. Jennifer and Camille and Denise and Samantha, and we will all have Samantha, we will send out something to you soon, probably in the next day or so, to talk about when we can come out. Probably best for you to give us 3 or 4 dates over the next, 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, of when it would be good for you and how many you could accommodate at one time. And maybe we'll have to do 2 rounds of tours, but go ahead and get tours of folks to come out, or a group of folks, I should say, to come out and visit you at the Women's Center of the Teen Challenge. I see there's 2 more messages here. Okay, anything else? We're going to give it 30 more seconds and I'm going to shut it down. For those of you I don't see between now and then, have a happy Thanksgiving. And everyone stay safe and warm. See you later.
Bye-bye. Thank you,
Bye,
ma'am.
guys. Bye, Pat.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks,
guys.
Pat, and everyone.
Thank you. Have a great day.